Good. Update! War on drugs. I'm Dick Richards.
And I'm Chuck Stifler. Good evening, America.
Up next, we shift our focus to the war on drugs, which has been raging since the turn of the 20th century. We will discuss the history of the war on drugs and its impact today.
Beginning in 1909, Teddy Roosevelt pushed for the passage of the Pure Food and Drug Act, the first such federal attempt to regulate pharmaceuticals, Dick. Congress then passed the Harrison Narcotic Act in 1914, which specifically targeted controlled substances.
Perhaps the most well-known legislation regarding drugs is the 18th Amendment regarding prohibition. Although it was repealed in 1933, this marked the first time the government took action against drugs and drug organizations. Then, in 1951, Congress passed the Boggs Act, which mandated strict policies for drug-related crimes.
Interesting there, Dick, because in contrast, the Kennedy and Johnson administrations of the 1960s adopted more liberal policies, and virtually no anti-drug legislation was passed. In 1968, with the election of Nixon, the war on drugs began.
Now we go to President Nixon, who's going to give a speech from his Oval Office.
My fellow Americans, I'm here tonight to talk to you about the most serious threat to America today: drug abuse. My administration, and the entire federal government are making every effort to combat this menace. In 1970, we established the National Commission on Marijuana and Drug Abuse. This commission studied the psychological effects of drugs and how to educate people about them. We won a major victory in the Supreme Court case Robinson v. California. The case ruled that addiction to narcotics is not purely an illness and that it can be considered a criminal offense. We have aggressively pursued drug-related organizations. RICO, or Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Law, and the Continued Criminal Enterprise Statute both provided the federal government with increased authority when dealing with criminals. Most importantly, in a joint effort between Congress and me, I passed the Comprehensive Drug Abuse and Prevention and Control Act. This act is better known as the Controlled Substances Act, and it consolidates over 50 other acts, including the Harrison Act. This is President Nixon. Good night.
You know, that's some speech, Chuck.
Hold on, Dick. This just in. We have breaking news. There's a drug bust in progress.
We have a cameraman on the scene. Let's go there live.
There they are.
Oh yeah, that guy's high as a kite.
They're
Yeah.
doing drugs. They definitely are.
Oh yeah.
Okay, guys, check your weapons. Check your weapons.
All right, you guys ready?
Locked and load. Locked and load.
Let's go.
Fuck you, man! Fuck you!
Go, 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 go.
Down in the basement! We're down in the basement!
Hey, come on. Come on, check this out. Check this out. That's some real shit, man. That's some good stuff. Shut up! Shut up!
Fuck you, man.
We got him.
We got him.
We got him. All right, let's go.
Wow, you know, a similar situation happened in my neighborhood just last week.
Well, Dick, I'm just glad they got a few of them off the streets.
Let's take a look at some of the laws that put these criminals behind bars. We have Kyle Schwartz at Capitol Hill to talk about the recent legislation on drugs.
Thanks, Dick and Chuck. Hello all, I'm Kyle Schwartz, reporting on Capitol Hill, where Congress recently passed the Protecting Our Children from Drugs Act. This act mandates stricter penalties for drug dealers who entice children with candy-flavored methamphetamines and other flavored drugs. This act is representative of the many laws passed during the Bush administration that are a continuation of the war on drugs. The first act that was passed was the Uniform Controlled Substance Act, which detailed the prohibited activities of drug usage and leaves the punishment up to the individual states. This act was pushed for in the early 1990s and was finally drafted in 1994. It was not, however, passed during the Bush administration. The Drug Dealer Liability Act of 1999 passed in the U.S. House of Representatives and received in the Senate at the end of 2000. It would impose civil liabilities on drug dealers for the harm caused either directly or indirectly by the use of controlled substances. An unusual aspect of this act is that if the drug dealers wanted to sue for damages, then they would be allowed to, as long as they first disclosed all information they had about the drug trafficking to the narcotic enforcement officers. At the beginning of Bush's first term in 2001, Congress passed the Drug-Free America Act. This act increased fundings for Customs and National Guard to keep drugs out of the country. It also increased funding for prevention centers. These acts have had mild success in the American government's war on drugs, and there are more proposed acts, such as the Drug-Free America Act, which are planned to go into Congress in the following year. This is Kyle Schwartz reporting. Dick and Chuck, back to you.
Thank you, Kyle Schwartz.
Now we have an agent from the Drug Enforcement Agency, DEA. He will provide us with unique insight into the war on drugs.
Thank you, Dick and Chuck. Today we have Officer Ron McDonald of the Drug Enforcement Agency with us in the studio. He's going to tell us a little about his agency. So, Ron, what exactly do you do?
Well, here at the Drug Enforcement Agency, we are responsible for any number of things. Our main job is to enforce the controlled substances laws and regulations of the United States and bring to the criminal and civil systems those involved in the growing, manufacture, or distribution of these substances.
So, how exactly was the DEA formed?
Well, before the creation of the DEA in 1973, multiple law enforcement and intelligence organizations carried out federal drug enforcement policies. These were the Bureau of Drug Abuse Control, the BDAC, and the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, or the FBN.
And I heard that you were recently on an episode of Cops. So how did that go?
It went very well. Some undercover officers actually bought drugs from 2 repeat drug offenders. I was there to make the arrest of the repeat drug offenders, and we got them off the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it'd be easier if I show you the clip.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready to make this transaction. We got about 30 kilos ready to sell.
Alright, it's gonna be about like 6K. You got the money on you?
Yeah, we got the money and we got
our backup agent back there just in case.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's do
go.
this.
Let's do this.
What's up, guys? You got the shit? You got the money?
You got our stuff?
Yeah, we got This is real stuff. This is real stuff.
We got your back, Holmes.
Alright, let's see.
We got your back.
Alright. Good chill. Alright.
5 kilo, nigga. That's how we do it. That's how we
Alright.
roll. Hey,
Alright, this is it.
Hey, make sure no one hears about this. Just between you and I. You
Alright.
want the bag?
Yep.
Use and eyes.
Is it good?
What we're going to do here is we're going to swoop in, we're going to corner them, and we're going to make the arrest. Yeah. Pretty fast.
Get the fuck over here. What the hell? You got it. What the hell?
And that about sums up the war on drugs, Dick.
Fuck you, San Diego.